Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to discuss about Apache Ambari. Apache Ambari is an web-based open source administration tool deployed on top of the Hadoop clusters. And its main responsibilities is keeping track of the running application and the status. Apache Ambari can also be referred as web-based management tool that manages, monitors, and provisions the health of Hadoop cluster. So to tell it what is Apache Ambari, it is basically a web-based tool which is used for administration purpose. Okay, that is for provisioning, managing, and monitoring the Apache Hadoop clusters. Basically, Apache Ambari is a administration tool to keep track of the Hadoop cluster. So let us move on to next part. That is, as I told, Apache Ambari is an open source administration tool deployed on top of the Hadoop cluster. Mainly, it is responsible for keeping track of running application and their status. It is web-based management tool. Okay, when it is doing the administration work, so it is web-based management tool that manages, monitors, and provisions the health of Hadoop cluster. And one more thing to remember is that it is very flexible and very scalable with the user interface, okay, which permits a range of tools. When I say range of tools, whatever we discussed in the previous classes, okay, range of tools, Hadoop tools, essential Hadoop tools, okay, that basically it will be managing such tools, Apache Pig, Apache MapReduce, Apache Hive, Apache Spark, like that. So Apache Ambari can be installed through Hortonworks data platform. In short, we call it as a HDP. Okay, HDP, Hortonworks data platform. Let us move on to the features of Apache Ambari. The first feature is that platform independent. It is platform independent. That means it can be run on different platforms without changing its configuration, like Windows, Mac OS, Ubuntu. Okay, different OS it can run without changing its configuration. And second is pluggable component. It is pluggable component. Second feature. So pluggable provide an efficient way to customize current Ambari application by encapsulating specific tools and technologies. The next feature is version management and upgrade. Ambari is capable of maintaining its versions, okay, versioning, okay. Like we don't require any external tool like JIT. It can be maintained by itself. Next feature is extensibility, okay. So in Ambari, the functionality of its application can be enhanced by using various components. So that is extensibility. Then next we have failure recovery. If a system is accidentally closed due to the power failure or any other internal or external factor, the data at that time can be recovered. That is failure recovery. The last one is very important, that is security. It provides robust protection of an application. These are some of the features of Apache Ambari. Let us move on to the architecture of the Apache Ambari. Actually, Apache Ambari follows master-slave architecture, where the master node instructs the slave nodes to perform certain actions and report back the state of every action. The master node is responsible for keeping track of the state of the infrastructure. To do this, the master node uses a database server which can be configured during the setup time. So here The Apache Ambari has many core members. That is Ambari Web, okay, Ambari Server, database, and the host server, okay, that we called as an agent. What is Ambari Server? The entry point for all the administrative activities on the master server is known as a Ambari server. It is a shell script, okay? It is a shell script which is written in the Python code ambari server.py and routes all the requests to it. Ambari server consists of several entry points that are available when passed different parameters to the Ambari server program. They are like daemon management, software upgrade, software setup, okay, lightweight direct access protocol, and so on. Then what is Ambari agent? Ambari agent runs on all the nodes that you want to manage with Ambari. This program periodically sends heartbeats to the master node. Okay, when I say heartbeat, it is nothing but the signal saying that it is alive. Okay, by using Ambari agent, Ambari server executes many tasks on the server. So to manage at the top level, we have a Ambari web user interface. Ambari web user interface is one of the powerful feature of this Ambari. Okay, the web application is deployed through the server of Ambari program, which is running on the master host exposed on the port 8080. Okay, it will be password protected, and once the authentication is given, okay, then only the user can use it. So next we have a database here. So Ambari support multiple RDBMS to keep track of the state of the entire Hadoop infrastructure. You can choose the database you want to use different setup of Ambari. Ambari supports different types of database like PostgreSQL, Oracle, MySQL, embedded PostgreSQL, Microsoft SQL Server, like many databases supported. Okay, so next we move on to, yeah. So along with being an installation tool, Ambari can be used as centralized point of administration for the Hadoop cluster. Using Ambari, the user can configure cluster services, monitor the status of the cluster host or service, visualize hotspot by service metric, start or stop services, and add new host to the cluster. So these are the main actually the use or the working of the Ambari, what we can do with the Apache Ambari. Next we have Ambari views. In that, what is actually decide the different views in Ambari views. So what actually the view is in terms of Ambari? A views is a way of extending Ambari that allows third party, okay, to plug in new resource type. Okay, a view is a way of extending the Ambari, okay, which allows third party to plug in new resource types along with the APIs or providers and the user interface to support them. So we have different types of view here, like dashboard view, service view, host view, okay, admin view, views view, okay, like this we have different types of views here. Let's see one by one. Yeah, dashboard view of the Hadoop cluster. Actually, if you see this, what is this dashboard view? Dashboard view provides small status widgets for many of the services running on the clusters. Okay, it provides many widgets. Okay, if you see this, this is the dashboard. Okay, if you see on the left hand side here, if it is, it's not so clear, but you can just make out. I think it gives a list of services, whatever we discussed in the previous classes, HDFS, MapReduce, Yarn, Tez, okay, then Ganglia, Hive, okay, HBase, Pig, Scoop, Uzi, Zookeeper, Flume, okay, all the services are there, all these things, okay, it will administrate all the all these tools. Okay, so it is having a dashboard with all the widgets. Okay, widgets it is having. Okay, so here the actual services are listed on the left hand side of the left hand side vertical menu. So it is dashboard is having the options like add. Okay, move. If you want to add new widget, you can add it. If you want to remove the widget from this dashboard, you can do it. Okay, if you want to add extra features, you can edit. Okay, you can move the widgets. Okay, move the widgets from different to the different place according to your priority. Okay, so that is like moving. These are the some actions you can perform. Okay, on the widgets. Okay, you can perform in the widgets. So moving means what? You can just click and hold the widget while it is moved around about the grid. So edit means if you want to do you have to do some addition. Okay, you have to do some changes. Okay, in that particular widgets you can just go for the edit option. Remove, if you want to just remove the widgets from that view, dashboard view, you can just use the remove, and you can add it. Okay, so you can just move it, edit it, make the changes, remove and add the new widgets. Okay, in the dashboard view. So if you see this in the previous thing, I want to show you first. So here we have a CPU usage. Okay, a CPU usage. If you see here, sorry, not this one. This is HDFS disk usage, CPU usage. Here you can just see the widget CPU usage. The extended version of that CPU usage can be shown like this. Okay, CPU usage. When you click on that widget, you will get the expanded version. Okay, it will move on to the expanded version. So CPU widgets. So what it will do, it is this showing the memory CPU usage. Okay, it is just showing the detailed view of CPU usage widget. Okay, it is showing the detailed view of the CPU usage. Okay, this diagram is that. Then if you see here, if you just click onto the heat map, there was one more widget called heat map. Okay, so when you click onto that widget, it is just shows the uh, heat map for percentage host members, host memory used. Okay, is displayed here. So it will just display the heat map for percentage host memory used. So this is okay. Say for example, if you want the dashboard view includes heat map view of the cluster. So cluster heat maps physically map selected metrics across the cluster. Okay, so when you click the heat map tab, a heat map for the cluster will be displayed. So to select the metric, okay, to select the metric used for heat map, so we have to choose the desired option from the select metric. Here you can see the option called select metric. Okay, select metric pull down menu. So here it will show the scale. Okay, scale. Then based on the requirement, it can be selected. Okay. So here this actually shows another important thing, that is configuration. Okay, configuration history. Okay, so here configuration changes list. So basically it is all for all services it will be there, but here it is displaying only for the yarn services. So configuration history is the final tab of the dashboard window actually. This view, what it will do, it will provide the list of configuration changes made to the cluster. Okay, so this figure, it is showing that Ambari enables configuration to be sorted by services, config group, okay, configuration group, then author. Created means author, created when the date, okay, then the author who created it, okay, which user created it, admin or normal user, like that roles, okay, then the notes, remarks, okay, that like that. To find the specific configuration settings, okay, if you want to find the specific configuration settings, that we have to just click on this the service name. Okay, so like this is about the configuration list. Next, we move on to next type of view, that is service view. Service view, actually, the service menu provides a detailed look at each services running on the cluster. Okay, service menu will give the detailed look at the services running on the cluster. It also provides a graphical method for configuring each services. Okay, that is like a config XML file, all this. The summary tab in the service view, there is a summary tab. I'll show you. So that is like this, whatever. There is a summary tab in this service. Yeah, you can see here. Okay, this is a service view. Okay, dashboard view. Okay, that will be having a collection of widgets. Okay, each widget you can just go widget. Okay, you can just click on and you will get the details. So here the service view. Okay, so service view, there is a summary tab. The summary tab provides the current summary view of important services metrics and an alert and health checks. Okay, there is another tab called alert and health sub window. Okay, so here also similar to the dashboard view, it is the currently installed services are listed on the left side. Okay, it will be listed on the left side menu. To select the service, what the user has to do, click the service name in the menu. Okay, to select the service, click the service name in the menu. Okay, so when applicable, each service will be having its own summary. So here the list of services. Okay, for each tool, there is a there will be services provided. So if you just want it, you have to click it. Okay, so when applicable, each service will have its own summary, alert, and two things are there. One is summary and alert and health monitoring or health checks. Okay, so under service metric window, this is service metric window. So for everything it will show. So whichever you click on, okay, for everything it will be showing the summary, alerts and health checks and the service metrics. This it is, since it is clicked on SDFS, it is showing about the SDFS. Yeah, here we have so actually here in the previous slide we saw the summary. Okay, here we saw the summary. Okay, then in this slide actually it's showing the config. Okay, so here when the user clicks on the config tab, okay, so this particular window will open. Okay, for the service, for any of the service. This is SDFS service. Okay, so these are the different tools or the services provided. So by the Ambari. So or it will be administrating all these tools. So what this, the properties, okay? The properties are the same ones that are set in the Adobe XML files. Okay. When using Ambari, the user has complete control over the XML files and should manage them only through the Ambari interface. Okay. That is, the user should not edit the files by hand. So this is about service view. The next we have host view. So what is host view? Here the host name. Okay. So that is it is basically considered under the host name, IP address, number of cores, memory, disk usage, load average, okay, and Hadoop components. So here selecting the host menu item provides the information that will be shown. I will be clicking here. Wait. Okay. Yeah, it will show this information like this. Okay, so I'll come back to it. So here, selecting the host menu, okay, items provide the information, okay, like a host name, IP address, number of cores, memory, disk usage, current load average, and Hadoop components. Okay, it will be listed in the form of a tabular form. I'll show you in the next slide. Okay, so to display the Hadoop components installed on each host, we have to click the links in the rightmost column. Okay, by clicking the host menu, okay, When we click the host menu, here it provides this following information. What is the information? As I was telling, host name, this is host name, IP address, okay, the number of cores, that is 4, okay, and memory disk usage, current load average, and Hadoop components. Okay, these are the information it will be provided when we click on the web interface of the Apache Ambari. Okay, that is the menu host. There are many menus here. Okay, here it is, click the host menu. So when we click on the particular host name, say for example, we click on N1, okay, so when or N0, when we click on the host N0, okay, it will give the further details. Okay, it will give the further details. What are the further details? Actually, it individual host view provides three components here. So three components are there. So what are that? Or we can say it as a sub window. This is one window, this is one window, and this is one window. What are the three sub windows? It is components, then summary, and the host metrics. Okay, so individual host view, that means here N0 is one host, N1 is one host. Okay, individual host view provides three sub window list, that's the service that are currently running on the host. Okay, each service can be stopped or restarted or decommissioned or placed in maintenance mode. Here the metrics window. Okay, the components window. I'll first tell about the component window. The components window lists the services that are currently running, okay, on the host. So here you can see SDFS is started, Flume is started, Ganglia is started, HBase is started, Yarn is started. So it will tell these are the actually current services running on the host. So each services can be started or stopped or restarted, or it can be decommissioned. Anything can be done. Then we have the metric window, host metric window. So host metric window displays widgets that provide important metrics, like say for example, CPU, memory, disk, and network usage. Okay, so clicking on this widgets, okay, display a larger version of the graphic, as I showed you CPU usage in the previous slide. So when we click on this widget, okay, it will display the larger window. It will open the larger window. The last one is the summary sub window. What the summary window will do, it will provide basic information about the host. Okay, host name, what is IP address, okay, then all this, how many cores are there, hard disk usage, memory, load average, all this. Okay, basically information about the host, including the last time heartbeat was received. Okay, last time heartbeat was received. So this is about the host view. Okay, so you can remember in host view there are three sub window components: host metrics and the summary. So let's go back. The next is the admin views. Okay, admin view. So admin view and administration. Okay, admin means administration. Administration view provides three options. Okay, it will provide the three options. That is, the first one is it will display a list of installed software. Okay, that is nothing but the repository, installed software, that we call it as a repository listing. Okay, it will reflect the version of Hot, Hortonworks data platform used during the installation process. The next is the service accounts. Okay, the service accounts list the service accounts added when the system was installed. These accounts are used to run various services and test for Ambari. The third option is nothing but security. Okay, sets the security on the cluster. Okay, so a fully secured Hadoop cluster is important in many instances and should be explored if a secured environment is needed. Okay, so this is about it. The administration view will be having three things, that is the list of installed software, service accounts, and security. So here you can see here service, their version, and the description. So administration, okay, this is installed Ambari installed packages with version and the numbers and the packages. Okay, version, numbers, and the packages. Version, numbers, and packages. This is about the this one about admin view. Next, we have the views view. Okay, views view. So Ambari views is a framework offering a systematic way to plug in user interface capabilities that provide for custom visualization, management, okay, and monitoring features in Ambari. So views allow the user to extend and customize Ambari to meet their specific needs. Okay, meet their specific needs. So next we have admin pull down menu. Okay, last one, administration pull down menu. So administration pull down menu, basically it will be having the sub menus like about. What is about? It provides the current version of the Ambari. Then next is manage Ambari. Open the management screen where user, group, permission and Ambari views can be created and configured. So if you want to create a new user or a group of user, okay, you want to just give the permission, read, write, execute permission. Okay, if you just want to see the views, okay, all these are done by this menu, that is manage Ambari. Then if you want to do the settings, okay, it provides an option to turn off the progress window. Then next we have the sign out. So if you just exit the interface, if you just want to come out of the Ambari web interface, you can just click onto the sign out, which will be on the right top of the page. Okay, this is about the admin pull down menu. So these are the some of the views we discussed about: dashboard view, service view, host view. Okay, then admin view, views view, and finally the admin pull down menu. Okay, next we move on to move on to managing Hadoop services. What is managing Hadoop services? When the Hadoop cluster operation is running, okay, it may happen that services may fail, okay, for many number of reasons. So actually in that time, the Ambari monitors all the Hadoop services and reports any service interruption to the dashboard. It will automatically reflect on the dashboard. Okay. In addition, when the system was installed, an administrative email for the Nagios monitoring system was required. So all the interruption notification are sent to the email address. This particular email address, all the notification will be sent. So let us take one example, okay, that reports the issue in the data node, or when the data node goes down, okay, it will be issuing the report, okay, it will on the dashboard. So as I told, any failure occurs, it will be reflected on the dashboard. So if you just see here, I have shown you the previous dashboard one. Okay, I just move back, okay, to show you the difference. So this is the dashboard view I showed you. Okay, so in this, if you observe data node live, okay, data node live means what? In the HDFS, okay, in the Hadoop, okay, so we have data node and the master node. So it is saying 4 out of 4, all the data nodes are active, they are live, okay, alive, and they are working fine. So that's what here, okay, when there is a failure in the data node, automatically it will be displayed on the dashboard view. Okay, this is 3 out of 4, that means one data node has failed. Okay, there is some issue in the one data node. This actually it is displaying the dashboard. This is how the Ambari will work. Okay, so it will be showed. This is highlighted. So out of 4 data node, 3 is working. Okay, so here, so when we just click on this, okay, when we just click on this, it will be going to the services part. Okay, services menu, it will be going to the services menu. So where we can see here, it is not so clear. So it will say data nodes. Okay, 3 out of 4 data nodes are live, and you can just see the alert and the, okay, this is service menu. First it will display on the dashboard menu. Okay, dashboard menu, and this is next is service menu. So when we just see click on the service menu, it is showing that here in the summary it is showing 3 by 4 data nodes live. Then here it is showing that person dashboard live. Okay, warning. Here also person dashboard with the space warning. It is just showing the warning. Okay, which I have just marked in the red tick. Okay, so it is showing the warning. That means what? There is a problem in the data node. So here this actually will be shown in the service. So immediately some actions can be taken when this data node is low. Okay, so all this, what is the main thing about this is Ambari will be working on based on the web interface. Okay, so web interface, no need of command prompt. It will be working on the web interface. It can be administrated through the web interface. The tools, the services for the all the essential Hadoop tools can be managed and monitored, okay, through the web interface. That is the main focus of the Ambari. Okay, so when we just move on to the next, like the specific host, okay, with an issue can be found by examining the host window, which actually host is having the problem. So there will be, here it is dark, you cannot see, but there is a dashboard menu here, a dashboard view, service view, host view, admin view, like this view, all these are present here. So when we click, it becomes right here. So dashboard, service, next is host. Okay, so which where actually which host is having a problem, we can view by clicking on this. Okay, so that we just move on to the host. Okay, you can see a lightly it is showing. Okay, host. So hosting I have marked, there is a host called N1. Okay, there is a host called N1. Okay, so the status of host N1 has changed from the yeah, it has been changed. Okay, so it has got some check mark and all. Okay, instead of this. So this actually shows that there is a problem. Okay, so this host menu is showing that there is a problem in the issue in the host called N1. Okay, there is a issue in the host called N1. So when we click on this host name, okay, when we click on this host name, so it will give the detailed view. Okay, that means it will, as we discussed, the host name have three components. Okay, that is three sub window, that is components, metrics, and the summary. So here, if you can observe that the data node has been stopped. It is giving telling that data node of the HDFS has been stopped. Okay, so it will just tell. Okay, by inspecting the component sub window, it reveals that data node daemon has been stopped on the host. Okay, at this point, checking the data node logs on the host N1 will help us to identify the actual cause of the failure. Okay, so assuming the failure is resolved and the data node daemon can be started using the start option in the pull down menu next to the service name. So after data node is restarted, okay, so we are assuming that the data node is uh, data node is what resolved. Okay, the failure has been resolved and the data node is being started. Okay, so we can see that, okay, it is starting a start data node here. So it is restarting. Okay, it is restarting, which is shown in this figure. Okay, so when the data node daemon is restarted, the configuration, okay, the confirmation is required by the user. That shows this. Okay, so this is restarted. Once it becomes 100%, so what happens here in the dashboard view, it shows 4 by 4. Okay, 4 by 4. So failure, where the failure has occurred, all this after finding out the log and recovering the failure. So finally, after restarting, for the user, it will be available 4 by 4. Okay, this is about the progress. Okay, the Apache Ambari. So next we move on to this changing Hadoop properties. So one of the challenges of managing the Hadoop cluster is the managing changes to the cluster-wide configuration properties. Okay, that is very, very challenging one. That is changes that have done to the cluster-wide configuration properties. Okay, in addition to modifying a large number of properties, okay, making changes to the property often require restarting daemons across the entire cluster. Actually, it is very tedious and time-consuming process. But fortunately, Ambari provides an easy way to manage this process. Let us see how it is. Okay, so here we can see here we have yarn. Here it is service used is the yarn. Okay, yarn service is used here. In this, uh, diagram, okay, there is a property called, these are the list of property under which comes under the resource manager. There is a property called yarn log aggregation enable. Okay, so yarn log aggregation enable. So this property actually keeps the application log, okay, and it should be set to true. Okay, so this property is normally on by default. Okay, on by default. So this has to be kept. So log aggregation. So this actually is done. So if this log aggregation is off, okay, if you see here, in the previous it was clicked here. Okay, it was clicked here. Here it is unclicked. Okay, unclicked. That means it is disabled. Okay, what happens that time? So here changes do not become permanent until the user clicks the save button. So this is actually, this part is elaborated and shown in the next. This is resource manager, which is having yarn log aggregation enable. This is by default, it will be ticked. So if I untick it, this part is enabled in the next feature like this. Okay. So it is turned off. Log aggregation is turned off. What happens that time? So we have done the changes. This changes has to become permanent means we have to click the save button. Okay. So the save button, once the save button is clicked. Okay. So the new version, it considered as a new version. Okay. In the new version, it will consider as a new version. Then we have to restart the application by, then it will ask for the this one confirmation, okay or not. When we click on the okay, it will ask for the restart. Okay, so to make that changes under new versioning, okay, it will ask for the restart. It will ask two options here: restart or restart node manager. Okay, so in the restart button, it will appear two options, that is restart all and restart node manager. Okay, so to be safe, restart all will be usually used. Okay, for the safer side, restart all will be used. That means what it mean restart all? It means all the Hadoop services will be restarted rather than only those that use in the new property will be restarted. Okay, all will be restarted. All Hadoop services will be restarted. Okay, so after the user clicks restart all, okay, once the user clicks restart all, a configuration window, okay, will appear, will be displayed. Okay, so it will just ask you confirm restart here. Yes, if they click on this, it will restart all the Hadoop cluster. Okay, Hadoop cluster services. Okay, so you can see here it is restarting all component with the state config to config for, yeah, it will restart all the Hadoop components. Okay, components. This is okay. So this is about the Hadoop properties, changing properties. Now let us discuss on basic Hadoop administration procedures. Okay. Much of the day-to-day management of the Hadoop clusters can be accomplished using the Apache Ambari interface. Indeed, whenever possible, Ambari should be used to manage the cluster because it keeps track of the cluster status. Hadoop has two areas of administration, that is the yarn resource manager and the HDFS file system. Other applications such as other application framework such as MapReduce framework and tools have their own management files. So Hadoop configuration is accomplished through the use of XML configuration files. You can see here. The basic files and their functions are as follows. Core default.xml. It actually stores the system-wide properties. HDF default, which will be having the Hadoop distributed file system properties. MapReduce, it will be having MapReduce Yarn MapReduce framework properties. Yarn default XML is will be having Yarn properties. So Yarn has several built-in administrative features and commands. Let us look into it. So some of these are some of the basic Hadoop Yarn administration. Okay. So what is this decommissioning Yarn nodes? Decommissioning Yarn nodes that we have discussed in the Yarn. Yarn is having basically 4 components, that is resource manager, node manager, container, and application master. Okay. Whenever I want to remove the node manager from the cluster, it should be decommissioned first. If the node is alive or the node is responding, you can easily decommission it from Ambari web user interface. So how it can be done? So in the last slides or previous slides, I showed you the different types of views: dashboard view, service view, then host view, admin view, like that. So here to do this decommissioning, you can just go to the host view and click on the host there and select the decommission from the pull down menu next to the node manager component. Okay, so you will be decommissioning the node manager. Then what about this Yarn web proxy? Yarn web proxy, actually the web application proxy is a separate proxy server in Yarn. Okay, that addresses security issues with the cluster web interface on application master. By default, the proxy runs as part of resource manager itself, but it can be configured to run in a standalone mode by setting up the configuration property called, just a minute, I'll type it. What is that configuration property? That is nothing but configuration property yarn dot web hyphen proxy dot xml. Okay, so this configuration property is set to a yarn site xml. Yarn site dot xml. Sorry, this is not xml, it is actually this is xml yarn dot web hyphen proxy dot address. Okay, this is proxies dot address. It will be set to this configuration property. This is not xml. One second. Yarn dot web hyphen proxy dot address. This will be set to this. Okay, this is about in the standalone mode. So next we have using the job history server. Okay, job history server. So we discussed in the yarn. So there was a disadvantage in Hadoop 1.0 version. So there was only one framework, that is MapReduce framework. So all the data processing and resource management was done in the MapReduce framework only. Only it was supporting the MapReduce applications. So to overcome this limitation, Hadoop 2.1 came into existence. In that, the yarn played a major role. So this shift or the migration, that is the removal of job tracker and the migration of MapReduce from a system to an application level framework, okay, came up with the creation of a place to store MapReduce job history. Okay, so the job history server provides all Yarn MapReduce applications with a central location in which to aggregate complete jobs for historical reference and debugging. So the settings for the job history server can be found in this particular file, XML file, that is MapRed, which I have showed you in the previous mapred-site.xml file. Okay, so this. So next we have managing Yarn jobs. So Yarn jobs can be managing using a Yarn application command. Okay, so it will be having options like -kill. One second, I'll move to the next slide. I have written there. -kill. Oh, this is coming in the next. Okay, -kill, -list, and the -status are available to the administrator with this command. So MapReduce jobs can also be controlled with the property or a command called, I'll write here, I'll type here, MapRed job. Okay, this is the command, MapRed job command. So when you execute this MapRed job command, you will be getting the list of options. Okay, like -kill, -list, -status, like this it will show you. So -kill means kills the application. -list means it will list the application from the resource manager. And -status means it will print the status of the applications. Okay, next we have setting container memory. That's what we will see in detail in the next slide. So setting container memory. So Yarn manages application resource container over the entire cluster. So controlling the amount of container memory takes place through three important values in the file called yarn-site.xml file. What are that? Yarn node manager resource.memory-mb. That is nothing but this. Okay, this is nothing but three important values. This value is basically is the amount of memory the node manager can use for the containers. Okay, it will always this all things, all the value will be in the form of a bytes. Okay, like that it will be there. So yarn.node-manager.resource.memory-mb. Okay, it is nothing but is the amount of memory the node manager can use for containers. Scheduler yarn.scheduler.minimum-allocation-mb. It is the smallest container allowed by the resource manager. So a requested container smaller than this value will result in the allocated container of this size. So by default it is 1024 megabytes. Okay, the default size is 1024 megabytes. So here we have yarn.schedule.maximum-allocation-mb. So that is the largest container allowed by the resource manager. Its size is 8192 MB. Okay. Next we move on to the setting container course. The previous one is setting container memory. This is setting container course. So what is here? It having the following properties in the file called yarn-site. So yarn.scheduler.minimum-allocation dash v course. So this is the properties. These are the properties where the values will be set. Okay, in terms of bytes or something like that. Minimum value. So what is this minimum allocation v course? This basically talks about the course. Okay, talks about the course. Previously it was talking about the memory, so it was measured in terms of MB. Okay, this is the values. So minimum allocation means the minimum allocation for every container request at the resource manager. So it is already talking about the core. So how many minimum number of cores can be allocated? By default, the value is one core. Okay. So here maximum allocation V core. So maximum allocation for every container request to the resource manager in terms of virtual CPU cores. Okay, virtual. That's why it is called V cores, virtual CPU cores. So here by default, the maximum allocation will be 32 cores. Okay. So you yarn.node-manager.resource.cpu vcores. So here the number of CPU cores that can be allocated for containers. The default value will be 8. Next we have setting map reduce properties. So here these are the following properties that are used to set the some of the Java arguments and memory size for both the map and reduce containers. Okay, that is map red dot child dot java dot ops. Okay, so what is this? It provides a larger or smaller, this option. It provides a larger or smaller heap size for child JVMs of maps. Okay, this one map reduce map dot memory dot mb. So it is a larger or smaller resource limits for maps. Default size will be like 1536 MB. This all like that. Map reduce dot. This is map. This is reduce dot memory dot MB. It actually provides the larger heap size for child JVMs of maps. It is also 3072 MB. So map reduce dot java dot ops provides a larger or smaller heap size for child reducers. Okay, all these are the part of Hadoop Yarn administration. So here are the some of the references which you can go through. Thank you.